Okay, now let's first of all start up with the answering multiple choice questions for IELTS. This is a test taken from the IELTS computer delivered examination. Well, if I'm going to now explain you about this, how to approach this reading, first and foremost, and one and only thing what I can say is that skimming and scanning are the only two components that can that are the driving forces for our success. Well, if you are going to read through the whole test, if you're going to read the whole passage here, and you will devour your time and you will not have enough time. So remember that we have only just like 20 minutes to address to each passage. So skimming and scanning are the driving forces. So what is the meaning of skimming and what's the meaning of scanning? I'm going to explain you through the practice. Scanning means actually identification of kind of landmarks. Landmarks means like the years, like 1911. You can easily find the year here very easily if you find some years, and all the proper nouns. You can easily run your eyes very fast to them in order to find the answers. And let's see whether we can find any. First of all, just study this. Just not study, run your eyes very fast at a glance along this passage, and then we'll start reading the question. In paragraph 1, the writer suggests that companies could consider. So paragraph 1, this is very easy thing that we can find out. And paragraph 1, definitely answer to this question should lie in the paragraph 1, so we know that completely. And the writer suggests that another point, suggestions. Companies could consider. Okay, now with this in mind, now we are now entering the paragraph 1. The general assumption is that this is kind of an assumption here. General assumption. All the workers are paid more in spite of rather than because of their productivity. And this is something, alright, then we understand this about the paying for the older people, and then that might partly explain why when the employers are under pressure to cut costs, they persuade people to take early retirement, take away seniority based pay scales. So this is kind of another important issue. Take away seniority-based pay scales, and all the workers may become a much more attractive employment proposition. But most employers and many workers are comfortable with the idea of reducing someone's pay in later life. And although but they are very, very important in IELTS or any reading, because they actually guide the reader where to understand, how to understand. Although manual workers on piece rates often earn less as they get older, so retaining the services of older workers may mean employing them in different ways. This is a kind of suggestion that the last line you can say, retaining the services of older workers may mean employing them in different ways. So then we can now match with what we have found with these multiple choices. Abolishing pay schemes that are based on age. Actually, that can be quite similar, because the paragraph says about the age and the payment. Let's move on. Avoiding pay that is based on piece rates. Avoiding pay that is based on piece rate, but this is not about the piece rate. And increasing pay for older workers, and equipping older workers with new skills. Increasing pay for older workers is also not a suggestion. So I say that abolishing pay schemes that are based on its correct one. Then let's move on to the next one. Skill team is an example of a company which skill team. This is a good word for us to scan. We have to find an example of a company which. Skill team. Now our eyes must run for the word skill team. Now we are now. So this is because scanning. When I did scanning, I found the word skill team. Then what we do is that we read around this paragraph in order to find the answers. Right. Company which employed any of the early retired who wanted to go on working up the age of there's a word here. When I was skimming, which re-employed any of these early retired who wanted to go on working up to the age of 60. An employee who joined the skill team at the age of 55, the 5-year contract, would work for 50 of his time over a full period and for his last living salary. The company offered service for agents, thus allowing it to retain access to some of the intellectual capital it would otherwise have lost. So, alright, now we have found out some information. These are statistical data, and here which would otherwise have lost. Then offers older workers increases salary. There is no any mentioning about the increasement of salary. Allows people to continue working for as long as it can be, because it says that only up to 55 years old. Allows expertise of older workers to be put to use. Actually, there is the word expertise of older people. Here it's similar to this intellectual capital. Yeah, so I find it quite similar with this. Treats older and younger workers equally. There is no any mentioning about that. So I value this answer as correct answer. Then next one. According to the writer, brick jobs. We have one phrase to do scanning. Brick jobs. Let's identify brick jobs. Where the brick jobs take place? Yes, here. Brick jobs. According to the writer, brick jobs, part-time and temporary employment that creates a more valuable transition full-time arrangement. Studies have found that in the United States, nearly half of the men and women who had been in full-time jobs in middle age moved to such brick jobs at the end of their working life. So in general, there is a word here, we call this kind of a generalizing. It is the best paid and the worst paid who carry on working. So generalizing has been done with this statement: the best paid and the worst paid. There seem to be two very different types of brick job holder: those who continue working because they have to, and those who continue because they want to. So these are the two. They have to means it is compulsory, and they want to means it is their need, only something like a want. Okay, and then we will compare. Tend to attract middle salary range. No, there are better paid than some. No, originated there is no. Appeal the distinct groups of older people. Actually here distinct means can say it's kind of different types because of this. There are two entities here. Then another one, David Story's study found that. Here we have one for to scan. Right, we can now do scanning here. David Story. That is man. Alright, I found that. I found him here in this paragraph. Found that kind of is finding. Of that and instead compared with the overall national average of now that in Britain 70% of this kind of a finding business started by people over 55 survived. This is a finding compared with the overall national average of 19. Well, then this about over 55 people demanded older people are good at running on businesses because of these businesses, and there's increase in number of old. Now a few young people have their own business. Now this is the answer. So I have already found the answers. So now let's compare this answer with the answers, if I can find out. Let's see. Well, okay, download the answer key. Okay. Wait a minute, you can find the answer. Yeah, well, here, let's see my answers. Number 1, abolishing pay schemes. Yes, correct. And number 2, allows expertise of all the workers. Right, that's correct. And number 3, appeal to distinguish all workers, right? And David Stoll study found that what is it about? Older people good at running on businesses. See, that's right. I have already found the answer. This is the way actually I have shown you how to approach multiple choice questions. Now I will in my next video I wish to teach you our next strategy that I'm going to teach you, reading multiple choice question, more than one answer. Thank you very much for watching the video.